Good morning, folks. We've got a little bit of breaking news for you. So, we're going to change up the order of the show this morning. We've got a good show for you. Hope you got a cup of coffee. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Let's get at this. Let's do this. Good morning, my people. We've got some breaking news this morning. We have had a busy beaver, a busy beaver going at it this morning. Mississippi Republican Congressman Michael Guest has been a busy boy today. He's the chairman of the House Ethics Committee. And on the tails of the damning ethics report on George Santos, Chairman Guest has filed a motion a resolution to expel George Santos. They're not going to wait. They're not going to wait for him to resign. They're not going to wait for him to do the right thing. Upon the release of the ethics report, George Santos came out and immediately said, "Well, I won't seek reelection. I won't seek reelection. This is bad. I won't seek reelection." And he thought he was going to skate out and collect his paycheck throughout, next January at 174,000 a year plus benefits. Republicans have joined Democrats in saying, "No, you're not. No, you're not." And he is expected to be expelled after the Thanksgiving break. That's another thing that lets you know the urgency behind this. How much they actually intend to expel George Santos is, yeah, they're on Thanksgiving break. They're out of here. They're not even they're making sure that this is going to be waiting for them on their desks when they get back November 28th to kick him out. With everything we've known, though, does lead to the question, what's the urgency? I mean, they didn't seem to be in a hurry before. What's the urgency? I mean, this report was bad, but it's not full of stuff that we didn't really kind of already know. Um, George Santos was stealing. He was conning his donors. It's actually a little worse than that. He was inventing fake loans to his campaign, then going to the Republican committees and saying, "Oh, look how well I'm doing. You need to match my funds." Taking that money, then he was also going to what they call high value donors. Now, look, I'm a donor. I do. I give. A lot of you folks are donors. We're not high value donors. We're just not high value donors. We are. They love to see us show up, and those small donations are what make things happen in the Democratic Party. But in the Republican Party, you have the billionaire frat boy club that I keep showing you who these people are. Those are high value donors. Those are people that write seven figure checks. Santos broke the rule that you can never, ever break in the Republican Party. He screwed over high value donors. He took those fake loans, he took the money he got out of the Republican committees, and he went to these high value donors and said, "Look, I'm rolling, man. People are donating to my campaign. They love me. You should give me money." And they did. They did. Just to prove to you that billionaires are not inherently smart people. Um, I keep repeating that over and over and over again. Hopefully, one day it will sink in. Billionaires are not special people. They just aren't. They are not innately clever. They just hire a lot of people. That's the strength of being a billionaire is you've got a workforce. Um, but yeah, he broke that cardinal rule. He went and he got them to donate to his campaign and then had the testicular fortitude to then pay himself back for fake loans that never existed and took that money out of took their money out of his campaign. There's over $250,000 that's unaccounted for, folks. I mean, completely they don't even know where it is. They in this report, they said for us to get to the bottom of this could take years. There is so much theft and graft that's gone on. We're just gonna go with what we know, and, that's enough. I mean, it is it's hilarious, actually. It is. It is hilarious, and I'm gonna be kinda sad to see the guy go. He was worth his weight in gold as far as politics was concerned, but here we are. So, not only did he steal outright from major donors, which is what really has the Republicans pissed off about it, he was just blatant about it. You remember Caribou Barbie? You remember Sarah Palin? She got in trouble because she was out buying Ralph Lauren and stuff for her family and taking the clothes home. Well, see, there's a rule in campaign spending. There are things that you can do and things you can't do. Sherry Foster, I appreciate you. Always here with the support. I love you. I really do. Bye, George Santos. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out, or better yet, let it. Oh, that would be hilariously funny. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. I have to agree with you there. But yeah, George Santos, he knew he was getting caught. He did. He didn't give a damn. And he went on a spending spree, folks. A spending spree. Like I was telling you about Caribou Barbie, she went on a spending spree. She did. And she got busted. She had to go through the humiliating process of going through her closet and giving clothes back to the campaign. George Santos is going to have to do the same thing if they can find it. I don't think that because he's gonna have charges pressed against him, I think he's just gonna keep the shit. I really do. I think he's just gonna keep it. Um, but yeah, some of the things that he did, folks, just to clue you in, some of the ways he spent his money. I don't know if you folks are intimately familiar with Hermes, the brand Hermes, but it's expensive. It is primo expensive. It is, Paris Hilton expensive. I mean, it is pricey. Men's watch here from Hermes, $25,675. $25,675, and Hermes doesn't discount, by the way. They don't have that end of year sale. And their coats, if you wanted to buy a Hermes coat, you can get one pretty cheap here. You got one down here that's just a lightweight vest. You can get that for $4,125 right here. But they tend to run a little bit more. Like you have this windbreaker from Hermes that's $13,700. Um, you got a pocket coat here. I think this is undervalued, folks. I really do. At $7,500, really a car length coat? I mean, hey, come on. I mean, you've got over here, you've got a leather trimmed hooded jacket, which is a lightweight jacket for 10,600. And over here, you've got the just, I mean, you're talking about a waist length coat here, sheepskin duffel coat jacket for 18,700. I mean, come on, the car length coat is just way undervalued, don't you think? But yeah, this is where George Santos was spending his campaign cash. And at Ferragamo, which is the same. I mean, just wildly over uh priced. And yes, he was driving a Lincoln. They haven't accounted for all of it. They haven't accounted for all of it. And to give you some idea, folks, I mean, if you run, you can buy yourself clothes. You can, but they have to be within reason. You can go get a Hart, Schaffner and Mark suit, a nice suit, $400 or $500 suit. You can do that. You can get you a couple of them actually, because it is a campaign after all. You have to look presentable. You can pay for makeup with campaign funds and haircuts because it's all part of your presentation with the campaign. But nothing about Hermes is within norms. No campaign can justify shopping at Hermes. They can't. Another thing a campaign can pay for is your travel if you're campaigning. What they can't pay for is your need to de-stress and take a vacation in the Hamptons, which George Santos did pay for with campaign funds. Do you folks know how much it costs to vacation in the Hamptons? I mean, just an Airbnb in the Hamptons. I mean, this guy just, I mean, he had balls like church bells. He really did, man. He just spent it. The one that bothers me though, that I'm getting mad at the corporate media about is the Botox. Oh, hey, there you go. I love you people so much. Always on it. Always on it. Med USA says Botox. That one actually pisses me off. That's the one that the media is focused on is Botox. You can pay for Botox. They're setting this up, folks. I am not kidding. The media is setting this up for drama because when the trials happen, they're going to knock down that Botox thing. They are. Thank you, Gail J. I appreciate the support. Wonder how he looks in orange. Yeah, because he's going to be wearing it. But during the trial, the Botox thing he's getting away with. He is. You can, in your campaign, pay for cosmetics. You can pay for certain amounts of cosmetics. A Botox treatment is considered just a cosmetic. It is not considered cosmetic surgery, which you can't pay for. You can't go out and get yourself a boob job. You can't get yourself, the thing that's real popular with Republican men these days is going and having that surgery where they taper their waist. That is real popular with Republicans these days. You can't do that. You can't pay for that out of your campaign. But Botox, you can. You and that's the one that the news is just over and over and over and over talking about. And it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's literally setting up drama for the future. Mark my words, it will come out in the trial and they're going to try to scare us. Oh no. Oh no. They said that you couldn't charge them for Botox. They said, yeah, it's nonsense. There's so much worse there. There is so much worse there. And yes, Botox is used for migraines. It is. My brother has Botox injections for migraines. He does. He has chronic migraines, cluster headaches, actually. But yeah, they are going to kick him out. They are going to kick him out. And it is not for my favorite expenditure. Can you guess what my favorite expenditure was? I mean, I am just in awe of the brass testicles that this guy had. Can you guess what the one that I just, wow, OnlyFans. He paid for porn, not just, not just, bought some porn. He had porn subscriptions paid for by his campaign. Oh my God. I mean, I didn't e I had to double check that, folks. I did. No. 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 I mean, the Hermes clothes, the Ferragamo shoes, all of that, okay, yeah, I can see that. But really, dude? Really? I appreciate the support there, I really do. I am the spoon mage, I appreciate the support. But really? Carter, yeah, oily fans. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is just freaking hilarious. I mean, hilarious. Everything else, the expensive clothes and stuff like he could have pulled a Caribou Barbie and, just been embarrassed and had to give it back. How do you give back money you spent on porn? And Mrs. Texas Paul this morning pointed out a pretty big thing. You got Preacher Johnson with his little pact with his son about they're gonna be their porn monitor buddies. What is it with these Republicans and their constant involvement in porn and their perversions that they cannot seem to separate from their professional lives? I mean, I don't care. Porn's your thing, cool. Cool. If that's what gets you off, cool. I don't care. I really don't care. But when you bring it into your professional life, I mean, come on. Really? And I get you been a loco. It's not disgusting. It's not funny. It's disgusting. I get that. There's a lot of people that just really have that view of porn, and I get it. I do. I get it. I understand. But you know what? I'm not going to judge you for your freak. I'm not. It's not about the porn that he bought porn. That's just not news to me. It's that he did it with subscriptions paid for by his campaign. And it just never seems to stop with these people. There are a couple great creators that really do. Bex, Antifa Operative. If you don't follow her on Twitter and Threads, you need to. Dara Faye is another one that they just constantly they scour the news nationwide and bring you every day these pedophile pieces of crap that get busted in our churches, and it's cops. Oh my God, the number of them that are cops and the resource officers that are in our schools, and they're all MAGA to the last man. They're all MAGA people. What is it with these people? What is it with these people and their perversions, man? And then they just want to be like Planned Parenthood and pretend that they're somehow the doorkeepers of decency when they're freaking thieves. They're liars. They're perverts. Madison Cawthorn got kicked out of the Republican Party for saying the secrets out loud. Hey man, I got invited to coke orgies with no reason to lie about it. Papa Blue here says Santos spent $4,000 on a scarf. Yeah, that's Hermes, buddy. That's Hermes, man. Yeah, no problem for $4,000. You can buy a $75,000 briefcase at Hermes. But yeah, that I didn't intend to be our lead story. He's a goner, and he's a goner because the donors are demanding it. He screwed over donors. The Republicans cannot have that. They must have their billionaire frat boy club. They cannot go to the people for their support. We, the people, we support. Yeah, haiku. I just said Planned Parenthood. That's who the minivan Taliban. That's who these people are. You know, they're out there in your school districts trying to pretend like they're the gateways of decency when they're hanging out with frickin' Proud Boy white supremacists taking pictures. I'll get you. I'll find it for you if you want. Mr. Spock here, favorite Dusty Smith quote. You don't see drag queens out there doing this shit every week. No, you don't. Every damn day. Every damn day. Follow Antifa Operative. She's a good follow. She works her ass off. Every day she goes, she scours the news blotters around the country and she finds these perverts every damn day. And look at who they are. To the man, they are MAGA. They are MAGA. But yeah, George Santos is gone. He's not going to ride it out through the end of the year. It's just not going to happen. We've had some other breaking news yesterday. It was a really big deal, and we want to start with that. I wanted to start with that, but with what's going on with Santos, I just wanted to get into that first. I want to introduce you to Robert Kyung Her. Robert Her. This is the guy you want your daughter to marry. Okay? This is the guy. This is a good man right here. He's a Boy Scout. I don't mean literally a Boy Scout. I mean, as far as public servants go, he's a Boy Scout. He's a straight up 100% decent guy. Got a great resume too. He just made some news. He is the special counsel that has been reviewing the Biden's documents case. And yeah, there's a Biden documents case. I'm going to give you the Cliff's notes on that here in just a second. Before I do, I want you to know who Robert Hur is, because already the right wing, I'm also a political strategist. I am. I recognize this stuff. I recognize when troll farms go active. I recognize when the Republicans have chosen a talking point and a path, a position in an event, and they've decided to run with that. It's part of what I do, folks. And I have to tell you right now, you are going to see, you're hearing it now, and you're going to see for the next couple of days, it's going to be Republicans screaming like gut shot hogs that Biden is getting special treatment and Trump is a victim over Robert Hur announcing that there will be no charges against President Joe Biden for his handling of classified documents. And there's a reason for that, folks. There's a reason for that. But I want you to have the information. I want to arm you for when you go out there into the social media world and they come at you with this stuff. Knowledge is power, baby. Knowledge is power. Let's start with Robert Hur. He was a U.S. attorney for the District of Maryland. He was appointed by Trump. He was appointed special counsel by Merrick Garland to review the Biden documents case. He's got a great resume, although he probably pissed his tiger parents off because he graduated Harvard only magna cum laude, not summa. They had to be pissed about that. I graduated Harvard magna cum laude, okay? It means with honors. He went on to Cambridge, studied at Cambridge in England, studied philosophy at Cambridge. Took a job for a couple years for a consulting firm, dipped his toes into Washington, D.C., at a firm called Boston Consulting, which is ironic because Boston Consulting does majority of their business in D.C. So, okay, well, call it Boston Consulting. It's your consulting firm, right? Then he went on to Stanford. I guess they explained to him at Boston Consulting, you probably are going to need a law degree for everything you do in this town. So he went to Stanford. And I don't know if you folks are old enough like me to remember the paper chase. That was a great show, folks. It was a great show, folks. But it illustrated for people that are outside the legal profession the importance of the law review. And yeah, Robert Hur was the editor of the law review at Stanford. To the layperson, so what? she's editor of a newspaper. That's a big effing deal. That is a highly sought after and competed for position in every major law school to become editor of the law review. That is a big deal on your resume. And he did. He did. Um, Look out, watch out. Check out the big brain on Brad. Hold on. Greg Edmonds says, I graduated summa from the School of Hard Knocks. But anyways, back to Robert Hurst's resume real quick. Not only did he serve as editor of the law review at Stanford Law, he also uh, graduated as a member of the Order of the Coif. Again, outside law schools, who cares, right? Inside law schools, it's a big deal. It's their honor society. He graduated from Stanford Law with honors as a member of their honor society, the Order of the Coif. Then he went on and had a really impressive young career. He clerked for Alex Kaczynski. Very, again, within the legal community, a big deal on the U.S. Appeals Court. Then he went on. He did such a great job there. He went on to. We got a comment here by Philip Alipore. As a Canadian American, GQP still hurts Canada. Yeah. Yeah, what happens in America affects the entire world. That's why we have an international audience here, folks. We have Canadians, we have Norwegians, we have Swedens, we have Finlanders, we have all over Europe, people from Germany, France. Shout out in the comments, folks. Let people know where you're from. But yeah, Robert Hur has an amazing education, nails it, then goes on to start a really impressive career. Clerked for Alex Kaczynski, which was a big deal in the legal community, then went on to be the clerk for Chief Justice William Rehnquist. If you're an old guy like me, you remember who William Rehnquist is. It is. He was kind of a big deal. He was. And that's a hugely sought after position. A lot of people, they want to clerk for Supreme Court justices. To be able to clerk for the Chief Justice is a really, really big deal. And it paid off for him because after that, he went to work for King and Spalding in DC. They're a specialty law firm that you'll never hear, you wouldn't have heard of if I didn't mention them. They're not one of these marquee law firms. They're a specialty law firm that does investigative work. When a major law firm has an extremely complex case and they need somebody to do investigative work, they hire a law firm like King and Spalding to do that work for them. This is what he did for a living. Again, highly impressive. They didn't bring him on as an associate. They brought him on as a partner immediately, which goes to show his chops. Uh, then after that, he was appointed by Trump to be the U.S. attorney in Maryland. Then he was made again special counsel by Merrick Garland. After being U.S. attorney, there was a brief break there where he went to work for Gibson Dunn. You have probably heard of Gibson Dunn. If you remember the movie The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves, for folks that you know, don't do the whole legal community thing, I like to use movies as examples because it'll give you an idea what we're talking about. It's not exact. You had Milton Chadwick Waters was the big law firm in Keanu Reeves' movie The Devil's Advocate. The devil ran that law firm. I'm not saying Gibson Dunn in any way is leading coke-fueled orgies or run by the devil or anything like that, but that scale of law firm, the worldwide, international, does business in every major country, huge, powerful, marquee law firm. That's Gibson Dunn. And again, they brought Robert Hur on as a partner. Yeah, Charlize Theron was hot in that one, wasn't she? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan. I like Keanu Reeves. That's a good guy. That is a good guy right there. Oh man, I hope your coffee is as good as mine. Oh, that is some good coffee this morning. But so that's Robert Hur. Literally the guy you want your daughter to marry. I mean, he's a good guy, straightforward, honest, does his job. He's taking a look at this situation with the documents, the classified documents that President Biden had in his possession, and said there's not going to be any charges. Republicans are screaming, like I said, like gut shot hogs, man. They are, this is bias. This is more Biden bias. This is more special treatment. They're picking on Trump. No, 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 no. We're going to run through this real quick and explain why. Why the two tacks? First of all, how it started. This is the Penn Biden Center. The Penn Biden Center, this is the offices where the Penn Biden Center is located. Pretty sharp, huh? Nice. It's in Washington, D.C., even though it's called the Penn Biden Center. It's called the Penn Biden Center because, you know, folks, I have warned you before about think tanks. This is not one of those. And no, not because I'm playing favoritism. There are different kinds of think tanks. Like there's the Manhattan Institute. That is a I'm going to funnel money think tank. That is a political hit job think tank. That's what they do. Then you have real academic think tanks. This is called the Penn Biden think tank because it was founded by the University of Pennsylvania. It actually does a job, an academic job. What it recognizes is the need for diplomacy throughout the world. And this is one of the reasons why this this particular thing that Joe Biden did. Joe Biden had an office there. He worked there at the Penn uh, um, at, at the Penn Biden Center. It's named the Penn Biden Center after him, of course. You know? But he had an office there. The whole point of this think tank is they have done the academic research. They know the value of diplomacy. So they wanted to take the major issues facing the world, the most important conflicts facing the world, study them, then reach out to world leaders as part of a diplomatic outreach so that they can have relationships, contacts, understanding, and facilitate diplomatic conversations. That's a pretty damn noble cause, isn't it? And it's paid off with spades, by the way. I mean, we had this big blow up in the Middle East that didn't blow up. You ever wonder why President Biden was so good at handling what happened in the so many other administrations have had just horrible problems in the Middle East. President Biden just nailed it. You know, after everything blew up with Hamas attacking Israel, everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is going to spread into a theater-wide war. This could lead to World War III." President Biden said, "Got this. Don't worry, got this." And part of the reason, hey, thanks for the support, Lucky Star. I really appreciate you, man. I do. I'm very grateful. Um, why? Why was he so quickly able to do this? Good to have in a jam says diplomacy. Well, duh, no brainer. Yeah, because he's part of the Penn Biden Institute. He didn't have to be briefed. He's not a golfing mango moron that doesn't know anything about anything. In his time out of his office, he spent staying up on diplomatic relationships. And it paid off. Look how well it paid off in the Middle East. You have Egypt advocating not going to war. You've got Syria, who's backed by Russia, trying to engage in nonsense, but they won't even do it directly. They're trying to do it through Hezbollah, and we kicked Hezbollah off the board immediately because President Biden didn't just sit with his thumb up his butt when he wasn't in office. And that's what the Republicans are trying to attack, just like they did with the Clintons. What was their greatest strength? The Clinton Global Initiative. So what did they do? They made false allegations. The Clinton Global Initiative had its books open to the world. You could see every donation from everybody. It had A plus grades. It was a fantastic charity that got things done. What did the Republicans do? They attacked the Clinton Global Initiative. They told their backers, their voters, that it was all a money laundering scam. It's how the Clintons were getting rich, and so that their voters would be inoculated to it. Same thing with Biden and the Penn Biden Center. Biden is diplomatically brilliant. The man is. If you look at his resume, it's what he's done. So that's what the Republicans are attacking. Every bit of his outreach in Ukraine. Why are we doing so well in Ukraine? How was Biden able to get Europe, which really had no interest in supporting Ukraine in the beginning, how was he able to do it? Because this is what he does. This is what he spent his time doing at the Penn Biden Center. Like Stone Child Creation says, he's pragmatic as hell. He is. He's a damn good president. We're lucky to have him. And Trina Longa, thank God Trump is not president now. You say it louder for the folks in the back. Say it louder for the folks in the back. So I just wanted to get that off the table. The Penn Biden Center. That is why the Republicans are attacking him for Ukraine. That's why they're attacking him because it's one of President Biden's great diplomacy is one of President Biden's greatest strengths, and that's what the Republicans try to take away from him. And that's why he had documents in his office. President Biden maintained his security clearance because of his resume, because of his history, because of his relationships. He maintained his security clearance. In his office, in a locked closet, there was uh, uh, classified documents. There were classified documents in a locked office closet. When President Biden was moving out of his office at the Penn Biden Center, he was doing it responsibly. Now, folks, when you and I move, we pack shit in a box and go. We do. It doesn't work that way when you are a Joe Biden. When you have had years of dealing with classified documents, when you have had years of dealing with sensitive subjects, when you have had not years, decades doing what he does for a living. There's my man in Germany, Marcus Lang. I told you we have a great international audience here, and I love your comments, folks. I love your comments. Not only do I hope you get to see more of what America is like, that's not crazy. We get to hear from you what you're seeing in your part of the world and how you're viewing us. I appreciate you being here. But what I was saying, I just want to cliff notes run through this as quick as I can. Evolution Winnie says this information on the Penn Biden implications is jaw dropping. No wonder you live in a tranquil, rural, cool the machinery. We know that Joe Biden gave counsel to presidents. He did. That's part of what he did. We know he was vice president. President Obama's success, especially internationally, was not all due to President Obama. He was not the most experienced man when he took office, so he wisely brought on Joe Biden, which cost him politically in the beginning because everybody was like, "Hey, yay, an outsider! That's what we wanted." And then he brought in Joe Biden, and a lot of the folks in the party were like, "Ah, no, that's not what we wanted. He's been around for 4 decades." It was a good move. It was a smart move. Joe Biden knew the town. He knew the major players. He made President Obama a much more effective president. And in his office, there were classified documents locked away. When he was moving responsibly. He brought in a team of lawyers to review the documents. They weren't just packing shit up and moving willy nilly. You don't want to expose classified documents. That's how it was found. His own team preparing for a move found a classified document, at which case they froze. They stopped moving anything. Crystal Nobody says the Clintons gave 80% of all collected money to charitable work, more than any other charity, as well as given millions of their own money every year. Trump gives 10% and takes millions every month. Actually, Trump doesn't. Trump's charities are always self-serving to Trump. He doesn't do charity for other people. Let's compare Joe's docs and Trump's witness. That's what I'm doing right now. We're getting rolling now. I know that was a long lead up to this, but I wanted you to know where it was coming from because believe me, the Republicans are making shit up as they go, and we're going to knock it down. We're going to knock it down, folks. They found the document they stopped everything. They called NARA. NARA is the National Archives, National Research and Records Administration is what NARA is. National Archives, Research and Records Administration. Okay. So they immediately called NARA and said, "Hey, we found a classified document. Come down here and pick it up." And NARA said, "Okay, cool, 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 cool. But there are things going on with classified documents right now. Uh, we're going to call the DOJ." And Joe Biden, through his lawyer that was running this, said, "Sure, cool, do it." The NARA called their inspector and investigate Office of Inspector General. Every major organization within the government, every division, everything has an inspector general. The post office has an inspector. Transportation has an inspector general. They have special agents, criminal investigators that work for them. And it's a hilarious joke among special agents. Everybody thinks a special agent who works for the FBI. You could present your credentials. I am an inspector general for the United States Treasury, and when you leave, they will tell their friends the FBI showed up. It's a running joke within actual special agents. It's hilarious. Everybody, you always work for the FBI. So, anyways, NARA has criminal investigators. They do. They do a job. They investigate crime. They said, "Look, we need to bring the DOJ in on this because this is a big effing deal." It is. Right now, we have this huge thing going on with documents with Trump. We cannot show favoritism, run it up the flagpole. So they brought in the DOJ. The DOJ took it to the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland said, "Look, I can't show favoritism here. I can't even give the impression of favoritism here. We're going to assign a special counsel, an outside special counsel." So they went and found a Boy Scout, a guy that was appointed by Trump that has ethics. Who knew that unicorn existed? That's Robert Hur. And they made Robert Hur special counsel. Cindy Brown, good morning, Texas Paul. This is Texas Paul. I'm here in Maga, Wyoming, as a native New Yorker. This is a Maga wasteland. Yeah, Texas is much like that also. Texas is much like that. I feel your pain. I really do. I feel your pain. So Here we are. We've got a document found. They say, look, we'd like to send the FBI in. Joe Biden and his attorney, Bob Bauer. Let me introduce you to his attorney. Guy just looks friendly. He just looks friendly. This is Bob Bauer. Let me blow him up for you. That's Bob Bauer. That's the guy that's running all this for Joe Biden. He says, "Sure, come on. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, we got nothing to hide. Come look." And the FBI showed up, didn't need a warrant, on invitation. Please come. And they searched through his office. They found 20 classified documents locked up in his files. They did. And the FBI said, just to be thorough, we're going to go ahead and get a warrant to search Joe Biden's house. Bob Bauer and Joe Biden said, not necessary. Come on. You're welcome. And by invitation, without having to get a warrant, they invited the FBI into Joe Biden's home and said, please look. And they did. And they found about 6 more documents down in Joe Biden's home. Some of them were locked up in his garage, in the trunk of his Corvette, in a documents box in the trunk of his Corvette. They found more documents. But Joe Biden is cooperating 100%. Please, yeah, look. They said, okay, we found these. We're done. Thank you. I appreciate it. Joe Biden said, no, you're not. You're not done. You're not done. And they're like, what? We're done. We looked at your house. We looked in your office. He said, I've got another office, guys. I've got another office. At the University of Delaware, I have an office. Please look there. Look there. They went to the University of Delaware. They checked his current office at the University of Delaware, found nothing. The University of Delaware said, that wasn't always his office. He had another office that he moved out of. Do you want to check that one? They said, yeah, well, shit, we're here. We'll look. And they went and looked in that office, found nothing. None of which they had to get a warrant. All of it was voluntary. All of it, President Biden immediately called NARA and said, hey, I got these guys. Come get them. Complete cooperation, beginning to end. And he had the clearance to have them. Peter Campbell, always a great supporter of the show, sir. I'm glad to have you here. I worked at home near Obama's house. He wasn't home. I still got the full Secret Service treatment with K9. Nobody was just going to walk into Biden's garage. Exactly. They do that, folks. They go through your neighbors. They go through everything. There was nothing at risk about those documents at all. That's Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden. That's what happened with Joe Biden. That's why there are no charges. Not only did he cooperate, but he insisted that the FBI actually search more than they intended to search. And to his credit, Mike Pence did the same exact thing. Mike Pence said, hey, yeah, no warrant necessary. Come look. Compare that to Trump. NARA had a list of about 30 documents that they tried to get out of Trump for over a year. They knew what he had. They thought they knew what he had. Demanded specific documents for over a year. Trump said, screw you, they're mine. I'm keeping them. Turns out, through communications, we found out that his way of thinking was that, hey, Nixon made millions off of his documents. I'm keeping them, and I'm making money off mine. Would not give them back to the National Archives. National Archives, again, they have an inspector general. They have criminal investigators. They said, look, he's not cooperating. We need to bring in the DOJ. DOJ took a look at this, and this landed in a bunch of Trump apologists' hands. And they talked. Guys like this guy, Stephen D'Antuono. at the DOJ. The agents in the FBI were like, "Look, we need to just go in. We need to just go in." This douchebag and other loyalist Trump agents were stymieing it at every turn, so it was delayed and delayed and delayed. They begged him to get documents. All the meanwhile, Trump is doing things like taking classified maps out of the boxes, going to parties at Mar-a-Lago and showing people, "Hey, look at this map. I probably shouldn't be showing this to you. It's classified, but check this out, man. I'm cool. I'm freaking cool." And worse, and worse. This guy, this is just the part that just blows my mind. Anthony Pratt. This is a guy I wouldn't give a shit about, neither would you. He's called the Cardboard King. He's an Aussie. You can tell by the jaws. No offense, my Aussie audience, but you guys kind of do have a look. He's super rich, one of the richest men in Australia. He was at Mar-a-Lago, rubbing shoulders with a former president, in which a billionaire right-wing donor is wont to do. And Donald Trump is telling him, because our military was dumb enough to share these kind of secrets with Donald Trump. I don't care if he was president or not. I mean, there was no doubt about his lack of character the entire time, but the United States Navy deemed it necessary for some reason to share with Donald Trump the capabilities of our attack submarines. And to impress the Cardboard King, while Trump loyalists within the FBI and DOJ are stymieing the investigation, he's telling the Cardboard King exactly how close within feet our attack submarines can get to the best Chinese submarines and not be detected, which is kind of a big deal, folks. It's kind of a big deal. I mean, it's only people's lives, right? It's only what we spend billions of dollars on to develop these capabilities. I mean, why not just tell the Cardboard King? And all of this was happening because the loyalists within the FBI, within the DOJ, were stymieing this. They finally did what these appeasers wanted to do, and they went and humbly asked Donald Trump, "Will you please give us our documents?" And the day before they were supposed to come, because one of the loyalists tipped him off, Walt Nada and the groundskeeper took all the fucking most important classified documents and wheeled them out a tunnel and hid them. Philip Alapur, will the GOP change after losses, or are they going to? No, they're going to fall apart. The GOP has no idea how to. They don't do introspection, and change requires introspection. They don't do that. They just double down. That's all they do. So that day, Christina Bobb. Just to remind you who Christina Bobb is, because you don't hear about her anymore. Trump's lawyer signs an affidavit and hands over a little accordion file of a couple documents. Says, "This is what we found. That's all of them. That's all of them. That's everything we found. Go away now." And the FBI knew he had way more. The FBI knew that they were moving boxes. They knew they were hiding. They they not defeated, wrong word, deleted security footage. They flooded an office, a security office, to destroy a computer. Uh, Everything that he's being charged for now, they finally engaged in a search. They got a search warrant. It wasn't a raid. It was a search warrant. The Republicans will always tell you, "Oh, Donald Trump was raided. He was raided." It wasn't raided. It was a search warrant. They didn't kick his door down in the middle of the night. They walked in and said, "Look, we have a search warrant to search here." And of course, we all know the famous pictures of the documents in the shitter. And we have the famous pictures of the documents just sitting out on a stage in a ballroom, compared to locked away in a closet or locked away in the trunk of a car that's locked away in cigarettes, is protected by Secret Service. No, no, we're just laying out on a stage, and Donald Trump, we know for a fact, was showing people these documents, telling people our secrets, our nuclear secrets. We know all that happened to impress the cardboard king. He's going to be. Alsrum says, "Why not in jail? Gets me every day." He's going to be. He is going to be. And yes, it was espionage. They busted a Chinese spy with multiple storage devices, lock picks, everything you would imagine a spy would have. They busted a Chinese spy at Mar-a-Lago. Do you think she rifled through the boxes? I mean, they were easily accessible. Well, folks, that's why when the Republicans scream like gutshot hogs today, "Oh, Trump's being picked on, Biden's getting special treatment." No, no, it's two different situations total. Two completely different situations total. And folks, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the support. Make sure you drop by the Texas Paul store. We got the Gobble Till You Wobble stores for mugs for another week through Thanksgiving. Enjoyed your company. Thank you for being here. Always the best comments. We've got Hal coming up. We've got Tony Sparks coming up. Folks, I want you to have a wonderful day. You made it to the weekend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for sharing all of this information. I truly appreciate you. And I love you folks for being who you are. You renew my faith in humanity. Old Texas Paul out. Y'all have a wonderful day.